So what they want to do is they want to export the oil and gas for pots of money. Because the stuff's running out, they need the money now. And they've got no other resources, they've got no coal or anything, and the only thing they can think of actually to maintain that same base load is actually to build nuclear power plants. The reason that Russia's production is still going up is because after the Soviet Union collapsed, everybody stopped maintaining everything. And basically their oil production just shut down. But all you're seeing is actually now they're rebuilding the fields and it'll come back again. And what you see is actually a twin peak curve. So it goes up, comes down, goes up again, will peak again at some point, probably in the next 5 or 6 years, and then start going down again. You can talk to some of the oil executives and the like, but the brutal fact of the matter is it takes 400, we're burning 400 years worth of ancient sunlight every year. And, there's no oil being generated anymore really at any kind of appreciable kind of pace. So, it is going to peak at some point. If there's more oil and gas found, that just pushes the peak off into a bit further into the future. And that's it. Okay, does that answer your question? Yeah, okay, very good. Next?
Yeah. The humans managed to stop the evolution a while ago, I think.
Sorry?
The humans stopped their own evolution of the human body. We don't go that much more or something. What kind of impact this have if you look back in the history to the example where it was that hot?
Okay, let me have a quick think about that, because that's... Yeah, humans haven't been around for very long. The great thing about humans is that we've kind of replaced evolution with technology. So we kind of like, we don't change to fit the environment, we change the environment to fit us. That's why we have things like air conditioning, and fields and farmhouses and cities and things like this. Sorry? Well, it's quite interesting, actually. There are an increasing number of fairly extreme green types who actually seem to think that detechnologizing everything actually is the only way forward. And what they don't, they have this odd Rousseau-like view of the noble savage, where, it was perfectly okay to run around making the megafauna extinct wearing nothing but a fur loincloth, and chasing Raquel Welch around a la 1 million years BC. And that was fine because, everything was hunky-dory back then. But in fact, what anthropologists have found is that hunter-gatherer societies are even more conflict-oriented than our societies. They had death rates that approximated World War II battlefields. So, you have these, guys in loincloths or whatever, and they're busy killing each other when they're not busy killing the local megafauna. And you can actually see humans spreading across the land, and actually, the first thing that happens is that the megafauna goes extinct as we go hunt it, and then population pressure then drives us towards a state of almost perpetual warfare. And actually, agriculture and civilization actually and technology at that point actually look like the things that actually prevent us from wiping each other out. Because what they do is effectively we then take natural resource and convert it into more carrying capacity so you can support more people without having to go kill each other. That probably wasn't answering your question, was it? I don't know. Come find me afterwards, I'll buy you a drink and it'll be cool.
One last question?
Okay, we have one last question from... This is bad. Mr. Difficult, I know him.
So the one route I potentially see out of the nightmare scenario at the moment. So we saw Drew Endy's talk a couple of days ago on synthetic biology and some of the advances that are coming out of that, and the incredible sort of above Moore's law speed with which the capabilities in that area are now increasing. Do you have any thoughts on potential ways that genetic engineering could give us ways to improve photosynthesis, bring carbon levels down, improve food supply, and use that as a workaround for some of these limitations?
Yeah, that's actually a very good point. Craig Ventner, maybe a little bit of background is required here. Craig Ventner, the guy who was responsible for sequencing the human genome, has a research institute, and what they're doing is they're working on synthetic biology. So the idea is that I build a cell from scratch out of bits of other cells that out of bits of other genomes that I've discovered all over the place, and some that I've created by myself. yes, we can do that. We can do a lot of things to actually get ourselves out of the mess. The problem is that you have to do all of them all at once, because quite simply, because the system has a lot of inertia behind it, because you've already pushed it, we actually need to basically step on the gasoline, accelerator, there we go, that's something that everyone understands, on researching these technologies, because the lead times for the technology are potentially quite long. And there are also risks associated with releasing completely synthetic organisms into the environment as a whole. One of the problems is quite simply overcoming people's natural squeamishness about massive re-engineering of everything, because that's essentially what you're talking about. You know, you're talking about actually releasing completely synthetic organisms into the wider world, because you can't have the effects of scale that you need to actually counteract these sorts of, not the cat, counteract the kind of, counteract the kind of, there we go, counteract this stuff. In order to counteract it, you're talking about massive engineering, and that sort of synthetic biology means that you actually have to implement it on a global level. So A, you've got to simulate it, B, you've got to be absolutely sure that it works, and C, you've got to be absolutely sure that it's not going to displace something else in the ecosystem. One of our real problems is that we're really bad at modeling all of this stuff. So, you know, you could potentially release it and then have all sorts of weird unintended consequences. One of the things you need to be absolutely sure of is that your solution does not create a worse problem than the original one. But I think you should do everything, anything you can do, like more efficient, everything from more efficient lights, don't fly so much, support your local community, don't buy so much cheap rubbish, tell your friends and family not to give you cheap plastic trinkets for Christmas. Anything you can do like that is worth doing. Yes, man with the Mohican.
It's all these techno fixes like high-yield gene-engineered agriculture and all
Yes.
that are very, very, very energy intensive.
Yes, they are, horribly
And
so.
with peak oil and peak gas and everything coming along, do you think that might actually be a solution even if we get on this crash program to engineer everything? Because if you have no energy, you're not going to be running your high-yield farm.
Yeah, that's very good. That's a very, very good point. The net energy return on investment, so in other words, the amount of energy you put in to generate something, to generate a given unit of, say, bioethanol or something, very often actually, at present, especially in the US, you actually have to put more fossil fuel into the system than you actually get bioethanol out, which sounds a lot like a subsidy to me. Or just stupid, take your pick. But yeah, that's very, very true. And one of the things that we don't spend enough time on is actually talking about efficiency. We don't design robust systems to be more efficient. You see some half-hearted things like replacing incandescent light bulbs with low-energy ones. But a lot of it is tokenism, is real tokenism. And in fact, actually, our societal unwillingness to confront the idea that we might actually have to live in a lower energy environment, and what some of those changes will entail, actually impedes us actually having a sensible debate about what the right way forward is. The human mind really wants to latch onto this idea of a fix, or that there's something that we can do that's pain-free and hardship-free, that will get you across to some promised land. And humans always have, we're natural optimists, but the brutal fact of the matter is that the world might not be so accommodating, and it's actually a psychological change that you need to make inside of yourself, rather than hoping and praying that the world will actually accommodate your worldview. I don't know if that didn't answer your question at all, did it? Did it? Oh, okay, to some extent. Anything else? Anyone else? Mr. Keane over there. Hang on a minute. I've been told that we have to kill it there because Rob's waving and stuff. But you can, if you want to come and talk to me later, then that's cool too. I'll be in the smoking lounge, getting stoned now because I can. So, thank you very much.